The Real Estate Show continues here on KMED this weekend. Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you. We get together, once a week here on KMED AM and FM and talk about real estate issues and how to always enhance the value of your property. That's really what we're all about. And, of course, the Jackson Soil Water Conservation District in 2006, voters in Jackson County said, hey, yes, we think that being good stewards of land and water is really important, and to support them with a small property tax levy. And that's why we're here today. Urban and rural landowners getting together, talking about these types of issues in land and water. And Randy White, the executive director, is with us. And Randy, I will say one thing: over those years, a lot has gone on, hasn't it, in the district since you guys have been out there, isn't it? Like everything else,
a lot has gone on, and we've changed a lot.
Yeah,
the whole look, including the building.
I was going to say you've moved,
but also including staff.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate to hire good staff, and today we're going to introduce you to 3 more very excellent staff that are new to the district.
Yeah, before you do that, I want you to tell folks, give us an update on it's your new building there in Central Point, and it's right across from the Grange Co-op there off of the Highway 99 there. And you guys are having a project, I know that you told us about, I think in our TV show a month or so ago, about, walking the walk, talking the talk about landscaping and the use of water and how much better efficient we can be with it. And so tell people what you're doing.
Well, actually, if you were to come by and look at the place right now, it has a lot of grass.
Green grass.
And, of course, I'm not against grass. Pastures my life. But
That's right.
But I actually left out of there the other night about 9 o'clock when the irrigation was on.
Uh-huh.
And it was running down into the storm drains off of our property.
Okay. Yeah.
And gosh, what a better way to show that we need to take care of it and conserve water. So we've actually put together a plan to take the grass out, and it's going to be in phases. We can't do it all at once. But we can then use it as a demo site of being able to transfer from grasses and plants that require a lot of water to those that don't. Use some more native plants and things around in our landscaping. And so we're actually going to sign papers on Monday to start that project. Mm-hmm. And we'll do phase 1 this fall, and hopefully we'll be able to start with phase 2 in the spring. And we're actually going to put in some blocks to hold soil in where it needs to be, a retaining wall, and redo the drip system and set it up so that we no longer have water running off into the storm drains.
Well, you certainly have the staff around you to do that, don't you?
We have the staff to do it, and again, it's putting our money where our mouth is, or the taxpayers' money. If we're going to tell everybody else what they need to be doing or should be doing to conserve water, we should be the focal point for showing how that can be done. And so this will be set up and to actually be a demo site for people to see how they can do it and what it takes to get it done, and kind of help them then put a budget together for their own place to get these things done.
See, those are the things that make, I think, what you do special. And good for you. We'll look forward to seeing the pictures of it when you get it all done. And,
unfortunately, we have staff that you'll get to see or hear today that can help us do that.
Well, you're going to introduce all these folks, so you go ahead, because you got to have good people, and it takes people to do it, and because you got a lot on your plates, I know.
Oh, we've got a lot, and we've hired a new rural natural resource specialist or planner, and it's Clint Nichols. And he actually did a lot of his work here in the Valley with his degree at SOU. And so we're happy to have him on board. I'm going to let him talk about some of the projects that we've actually thrown all 3 of these folks right into the deep end. And 2 of them have been here for about 3 weeks. One of them has just been here for about 3 days. Had a lot of deer in the headlight
a lot going
expressions going on. But you know what? They're still here, so I hope that means they're going to stick with us for a while. But just fantastic crew, and I'm extremely excited about what they're bringing to the district.
Yep.
And I could sit here and talk about it, but what I'd like to do is just introduce them and then let them talk about it. And then we have Jennifer Sawtell is our new education and outreach. We brought her on because our planners, both our urban and rural planners, have been doing a lot of education and outreach along with their technical assistance that they supply to the landowners. And they were hired to do technical assistance. And so by having Jennifer come on, it allows us to take some of that workload off of them and get out and be with the landowners and do the site visits and do the technical assistance that they were hired to do. So I think that's a change for the district that is really going to help us move forward and help get more stewardship on the ground. And then we've hired Ashley Parrott to be our marketing and media person so that we can actually document some of these activities as they're going on and get them out so that people can see the projects that are being done and they can say, oh, well, I can do that too. And a lot of times people need to see what can happen and what can be done before they kind of, lack of a better term, get the courage to do it themselves. And so we feel that this is a way of getting that out and getting more involvement with the community and with the citizens that are paying the tax rate limit.
And bridging that urban-rural thing is still, I mean, that's still a big thing, isn't it, to try to get urban landowners to take these same initiatives in terms of how they treat their land, what they're going to do with everything from rainwater to storm drain runoff and everything like that, because it does become, as you know, as we say, over the years,
we all have an impact in our watershed, whether we're living on a paved road or a country road. So it's
all right.
Very important.
All right, Randy. Well, we're going to let Randy get out of the way and now turn our attention to the newbies, as we might say. Ashley Parrott is just over here just chomping to talk, so I'm going to flip her microphone on. The media person. And a relation person, I think, is really important for the district to have that. What did you think when you got kind of the nod for this? What did you think when you walked in, Ashley?
Well, my first thought was that what Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District offers is invaluable, and people don't know about it. I mean, that was kind of my first thought is I really have an opportunity to make an impact by letting the people know what's available. And marketing and media is our way to do that. Branding, to just getting our slogan down, getting the word out, and letting people know that not only are we here, but we can help you. And, technically, possibly financially, there's just so many avenues that we can get out there and really help people. Everything from, weeds to educating students. So we just really have to.
So what's the first thing you've done since you've been out there?
Well, the first thing that I did is we've created a Facebook page and a Twitter account. So if you guys want to follow us, we have, that really targets our urban landowners, people that are really tuned in, and working on updating our website and branding. So we've done just some really simple things, creating the pages and creating links to our email signatures and partnering with places like Parks and Rec and, the Medford Water Commission and sharing our info on their pages and getting, getting them to do the same so that we have more outlets to get our information out there. The
overall message out there. What I really like about what the district does is the way they partner with other groups, like the OSU Extension Service is just one example. The watershed councils that are out there. I really like that because it kind of sets them up as we're the ones. We have a great charge of the taxpayers. The district does, and so with that comes, a responsibility. And I think the district has done a really good job in getting that. But you're right, getting that information out there is very difficult. I mean, we're one little avenue here in a radio station or something. But that's really good that you've done that because I've heard them talk about it for a long time, but I've never had anybody on board to do that. So good for you. I hope that works for you. Is anybody liking you so far?
Yeah, we started. Today was it's my third week. I work 3 days a week. So it was technically my 9th day. On day one, we had 1 like. Today we have 26. And we've just had a lot of people, we've had a lot of like the Little Butte Watershed Festival, putting that information
that was
out there.
Week,
yeah. And we partnered, OSU Extension was there. There was just a lot of partners there. Little Butte Watershed was there. And we were able to not only be there, but let the people out there know how else they can find our information, direct them to our website, direct them to our Facebook page, direct them to our online resources so that they can, they can really prepare themselves and look at what's available to them.
Groups went through a time, I remember when I was in school, groups went through a time where they had to have media persons, and then they went without. They went decades. It seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal. Things changed. And it seemed like the pendulum is swinging back, and organizations like the district, city governments kind of need media people to organize it because the people who are next to you are so busy doing other things that to try to get everybody to be media people just doesn't work in an organization. It just can't.
Well, and there's a lot of degrees of understanding. So we're working with people that are, rural landowners who may have internet and might even still be working with dial-up, all the way to urban landowners who are connected by iPhone, iPad, MacBook Pro, etc. So we really have, we have a wide range to work with. And, my job is to partner, like with our new people here. We've got Jen and Clint. My job is to say, okay, what do you need? What are you working on? How can I get that information out? Where do you want people to show up? What do you want them to know about? And how can I get that information out to the local media, the radio stations, the news outlets? I've got a lot of really great connections from my work here in the Valley. So.
Events are really big things anymore, that's for sure. And the district does and participates a lot of it. Jennifer Sawtell, you just started this thing. You're like I was going to say the baby of the group here, but
I am.
Tell me what you ended up doing, because I was on a search committee. I know and saw the two of you and got to meet you a little bit over a screen. So,
briefly.
That kind of thing. So you got the job in the end. So 3 days. What do you see your role in this thing at?
3 days in, and so much to do. There is Jackson Soil and Water does so many great things, and they have so many education opportunities. My job is to get those opportunities and make them available. So making sure that the people who do workshops are facilitated, and making sure that our website is something that's so available to people if they want to click in. Whether they need to find a way to have someone look at their land, or they just want a little information on reducing weeds in their property, making sure that information is available and ready for them to get and access anytime.
I was surprised at the issue of education, the education outreach. I was surprised at the board level and the staff level, how important the emphasis they put on that. I maybe not had that much of an emphasis from myself, but I was really surprised that they were all so adamant that the education part of the component of the district be there and have someone there to do that.
Oh, yeah. And it's so important. We just do so much. We offer so many opportunities for people to come to a workshop, or just to get some quick information on how to just better their own space, better their property, and benefit a lot of people in the meantime. So there's a huge amount of work.
We always tell on our show, during other shows, that 25% of the sales of property in Jackson County are classified as rural properties, rural residential, rural properties. So that's about 5 to 550 properties a year that in rural properties that have somebody living in them who weren't living in them a year ago. And we talk about that. How do we get to those 500 people to do, as you say, how can we prevent erosion? How do you manage your property? How do you deal with water and the kinds of issues? Because so many, as a real estate brokers, we see people coming up here, and a lot of them don't have any idea, what they're doing. They just think they want to do this or be a farmer, and others are very serious. And Clint's over here shaking his head, so he's probably met some of those people that are out there. And so Clint Nichols, you're the Rural Natural Resource Planner and a graduate of SOU, so it's nice to have an SOU person here. It always is good to have that. So tell me, what have you been doing since you got into this thing? Right into that thing. There you go.
Yeah, for the most part, we've been doing a lot of site visits, talking to some rural landowners about some of the issues that they might have on their property, some of the things that they want to do. A lot of it has been a lot of conversion from flood to sprinkler irrigation,
That's
which
a big thing in the district. Yep.
Yeah, it really cuts down on erosion, sediment in streams, things like that. So yeah, and then part of the other thing that I've been doing a little bit is working with the extension office to do some education out there. Like this Saturday, I'm working with them to teach a horses in mud class. Yeah, so teaching about installing hardened surfaces around barns and stalls to kind of keep horses out of the mud and keep all that mud from running down into a stream.
When I first heard that, I thought they were crazy and it could not possibly be done, because I grew up on a ranch, and I was telling Randy, we had mud, we had runoff, we did things so different then, And but it's true, and these types of things people can do, and you supply that information for them, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. A lot of new technology that's come out. There's a lot of solutions out there, and that's what I'm going to be presenting. Really, is some of those solutions. So.
Now, tell me, I'm curious as to how your education has prepared you for this job. Can you share that with people? Because we see new graduates all the time, or hear new graduates. What do you do? How did you prepare? So tell people that, would you?
Yeah, so at SOU in the Environmental Studies program, we have a lot of, they used to call them concentrations, and my concentration was ecology and conservation.
Okay.
And so we studied a lot of like soil science, hydrology, hydrogeology, fancy word for groundwater. Yeah, so all of those things really kind of teach us how to deal with soil health issues, soil management, water quality, and water quantity. But at the same time, because it's a kind of a holistic approach to education, we also study a lot of policy. So, Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act, NEPA processes, those kinds of things. So I'm able to really approach this, one, from a technical and from a science standpoint. I know, what makes good soil, what makes clean water, but I also understand how these things impact us both, legally and also financially. We do a lot of work with the economics of environmental cleanup and environmental.
That's another thing I really like about the district is that we don't lock up our land. We can use our land to make a profit and to use it better, and the kinds of things. And I like that. So, well, gosh, there's lots going on. We're going to take a break here, and you come back. Maybe we'll share some of the projects you're working on or what you got coming up that I'm sure people will be interested in hearing about. The Real Estate Show here on KMED AM and FM. This show repeats at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. We're coming right back after this.
Hoping to sell a home in today's real estate market? Wondering if it's the right time to buy? Get the facts from RE/MAX.
RE/MAX Ideal Brokers of Medford and Grants Pass invite you to take advantage of our residential, rural, and commercial real estate experts in the local markets. Visit us at idealbrokersinc.com to search for properties or find an agent.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Find out what RE/MAX can do for you. Where do you want to be? Each office independently owned and operated.
Rogue Valley residents are changing the way we view and use land and water. And with our climate in flux, the Jackson Soil Water Conservation District is needed now more than ever to assist rural and urban landowners in managing our lands. Visit our website at jswcd.org. Learn how to put up rain barrel catchment systems, manage pasture and small woodlands, or even learn how to deal with drought conditions on your land. The Jackson Soil Water Conservation District is dedicated to enhancing the value of your property. Most services are free. Knowledge gained, priceless.
Managing rental properties takes a person with special skills to mediate landlord-tenant relations, a person knowledgeable of the laws governing fair housing, and there's a lot of them, and a person with experience and a track record of success. It's fair to say that Laurel Adams, owner of All Cities Property Management, is that type of person. Landlords trust her advice, tenants know they're treated fairly. I wouldn't trust my rental property management to anybody but Laurel Adams and her staff at All Cities Property Management. To view available rentals, visit them at allcitiesprop.com.
Ticor Title has been the leader in title and escrow services. Hello, I'm Shelley Culbertson, Sales and Marketing Manager for Ticor Title. From the simplest to the most complex residential and commercial real estate transactions, you will get experienced, knowledgeable, and professional assistance from our title and escrow staff. With Ticor Title, our financial strength coupled with our exceptional customer service means that your needs are taken care of.
Don't let time tick away while you do nothing. In the last few years, that's what many businesses did about advertising. Nothing. Because they cut their advertising budgets. So what ended up in their pockets? You guessed it. Right now, you're listening to radio, and that's something. So visit this website when it's convenient and learn how easy it is to advertise on radio. And see the study on the top online marketing trends for 2014. It's really something, too.
Don't wait any longer. Make this moment count for something. Visit medfordadvertising.com.
Celebrating 11 years of saving kids. The Brittany Wright event and Seven Feathers Casino Resort welcomes America October 10th.
Tickets on sale June 11th.
Details at BrittanyRide.com.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. An American prisoner of war in Afghanistan is now free.
I've spoken to a senior U.S. defense official who tells me that Bo Bergdahl is in good shape. He is, according to this official, he has lost some weight. He is scared. He clearly is a little disoriented and weakened after years of being held in captivity by the Taliban.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin saying the release of Bergdahl taken in 2009 comes at a price.
There are 5 Guantanamo co-prisoners who are being released, and they are, Taliban commanders who will likely be back out on the battlefield at some point.
The president says he's called Bergdahl's parents to, quote, express our joy that they can expect his safe return. The handover following indirect negotiations between the U.S. and the Taliban, with the government of Qatar serving as a go-between. This is a Fox News Alert.
Real Estate Show continues here on KMED this weekend. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the Real Estate Guys, with you. Hope you're having a good-looking weekend. Hope you're going to go out and make something happen here as, summer's just about over. Fall is here, and I think we're about time maybe have one of those rain dance ceremonies, they had up at Snow Ceremony at like Mount Ashland this last winter. Maybe that's something we want to think about as we go along. Next week here at RE/MAX Market Watch Show, Bob Gervais will be along. We'll hear what's going on in the real estate market from Bob and RE/MAX. 2 weeks from today, mortgage lending with Guy Giles from Summit Funding will be along. We also have a TV show that's running right now on Charter Cable's Channel 180 and Channel 9 on the Ashland Home Net. We have a Market Watch segment, and then home builders, and catching you up to date on what's going on in home building activity in Jackson County. Those are running right now on the RVTV, Charter, and Ashland Fiber Network systems. So anyway, today we're with the Jackson Soil Water Conservation District, and one of the things the district has done is get their staffing back up to full things, and 3 of those new members are with us. Ashley Parrott, who is the media and marketing coordinator, and you're an SOU grad too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Now, I met you briefly because you did some work with us at Table Rock Sports a little bit. I know you have the sports. You like sports. You're kind of like Nutty Joe, aren't you, when it comes to that?
I am the protege of Nutty Joe.
Yeah, you really are.
35 years from now, I'll still be trying to work for ESPN.
Yeah. Oh,
But yes.
Jennifer Sawtell is here. She's a new education outreach coordinator, and you are an SOU grad.
I am also.
So all 3 of you
Yeah.
are SOU. I'm an SOU graduate grad. I guess I got my master's degree at SOU.
Oh, yeah.
And my bachelor's from Oregon State, but so we're all connected to SOU in some way. See how the university, it's so funny because even though I've been gone there for like 8 years now, but it's amazing to me how many SOU graduates and people you see just living here who've been through the university, and what an impact that place still has, despite its issues and problems and things. It still affects people's lives. Look at the 4 of us.
Right. Well,
I mean, it really does.
It's a great opportunity too, because we're here. We know the area. We've got our education here, and ultimately, this is the area that we really want to impact.
Yeah.
So.
And we want you to stay here. And that's the problem. So many of our graduates leave because there are no job opportunities. And we've been all through this, haven't we? For many years. We're not going to solve it probably today either. Well, anyway, we're going to talking with you all. Clinton Nichols, tell me about what you got. Any projects or that you're doing that you can share with us. It's been dry, obviously, as you know here. And it's been a very long, dry, hot summer. So what are you working on that you can share with us that people might want to see some good progress?
Well, one of the things that we've heard from a lot of our smaller landowners is I have one client that contacted me because her well went dry this year, and that's directly related to the snowpack that she's nearby. And so what they're looking at doing is tapping nearby springs or streams to get a little bit more irrigation to their fields. They raise cattle, those kinds of things. So we've heard a couple of those sorts of things. At the same time too, there's issues with some erosion. When you have grass that'll die over a hot, dry summer like this, you leave a lot of chance for a lot of erosion to occur off that now bare soil. So we've worked with a lot of smaller landowners. And I think that's really kind of the key that one of the biggest things that the district can really make an impact on is, the last 7 years or so, something like 50% of the large parcels of land have been broken up into smaller parcels of land, and that means that there's a lot of rural landowners that are managing smaller parcels and maybe don't have the knowledge that they really need to manage those parcels well. And so that's really what the district can offer them. We provide technical assistance, we provide educational opportunities, and then also in some circumstances we can actually provide financial opportunities to help them with those projects.
What's a small parcel to you with people who have? Because people have got land. It can be quarter acre, maybe it could be more. So what's a small parcel that you would describe as?
I've spoken with a landowner that had 16 acres, another one that had 25, another one I believe was about 40. So yeah,
so more than 10 in generally there.
Yeah, but I mean, smaller parcels would still fit. I mean, it really depends on what the land that they're using. In fact, I got a phone call from a gentleman who uses a well to irrigate a small farm, and you can't really irrigate more than a half an acre with a well. So that's his parcel. That's how much. And he called me. He asked me a question, and I was able to point him in the right direction. That's cool.
What you do, yeah.
That's what we're here for. So,
and you're going out and so you're going out and doing other site visits, and you're learning a lot about this Rogue Valley, isn't it, and how unique it is, and probably more so than most of us get that chance.
I got to tell you, every other day at my job, it feels like a field trip. I get to go out to some beautiful country up in the hills, down in the valleys. You get to see some beautiful property, and I don't know, it really makes me proud to live here because the people here they care about their land, and that's why the district exists, is because we care about the land, we care about the place that we live in, we care about the water, the streams, the fish, the mountains. All of those things, they're important values, but also at the same time, the agriculture and the pastoral setting of this area is very important to them as well.
And the agriculture setting is changing here, isn't it? And people remember so many orchards that are disappeared now, giving way to vineyards and organic farmers. I mean, that seems to be our future. I don't know if you're sensing that or whatever, but at least from the real estate point of view, we're seeing more interest, obviously, in vineyards. We're going to see much more of them put in. And we're going to see continued growth in some of those areas in organic farms. I can't believe we talked when the vote came. Remember the GMO vote came, and how that we had predicted here that it was going to pass big, but also was going to transform agriculture here, and people who moved here, some of my clients are coming here specifically because this is a GMO-free county and they want to be organic farmers.
Yeah, we just had an opportunity to offer, our services to a lady for that exact reason. She's coming from Coos County, and she bought a parcel of land out here, and specifically she does farmers markets, etc. So with that land, she's going to grow her own fruits and vegetables. She's going to produce livestock that produce sellable items, and it's all to be GMO free and organic. And that's specifically what she brought her property for, and then came to us and said, where do I start?
I've been on the Ashland Food Co-op farm tours with Annie Hoy over the years, and it's amazing what people do with their land and where they're at and what they're growing and what they want to do. And we see lots of that, and I think that's healthy. It's fine. There are young people doing this, don't you think, Ashley?
Yeah.
Younger people doing this. It isn't like old people. It seems to be a new generation that have an interest in the land.
Yeah, there was actually many people in my cohort that graduated with me that were interested in small farm agriculture, specifically, organic. There was definitely that. But I think sometimes, and this is actually becoming kind of a big thing, this area is actually kind of has a higher than normal rate of food that's actually grown locally, that's also sold locally. And so you can go into Ray's and you can buy food that's made locally here, and that's not typical, and that's definitely, I think, something that's about this valley.
The local food movement is really huge. We own a restaurant, my sister and I, in K Falls, and we have a garden that we grow a lot of our own vegetables there. We can't do it year round. The key is to be able to get stuff year round. And there were 2 OIT students who got a grant they've come up with some sort of a prototype that can grow in cold climates year round. Wow. And if that actually works, think of how that's going to revolutionize restaurants and the local food movement, because you can grow then year round. So those are the kinds of things that are out there. I think it's really exciting times. I mean, you guys are young. You get to go through a lot of that, a lot of decades ahead to experience what you're exactly going to see. Jennifer, you got that?
Yeah. Oh.
I
said, oh.
Yeah. You like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we'll see what goes with it, and good luck with it. Anything else you got there, Nick? I'm proud of you. Good for you. I think that's really exciting what you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think just one last plug. The Oregon Extension Office has has a program called the Land Stewards Program. It's a great program for people, for people who maybe just kind of came into their property, don't really know a whole lot about managing the land. I think it's a great opportunity for somebody to come in, get that knowledge that they need to really be a steward of the land. So
at the end of the show, we're going to give kind of the classes you got coming up, right, that people can go to this fall, including your mud classes and things like that. So because we're going to be up against a break here, so we'll do that in our last segment because we want people to attend them. And attendance has grown, by the way, over the years, it sounds like. That's always good.
We've got a lot of venues you can find that info on now.
There's so much information out there available to us. Hey, the Real Estate Show continues, rolls on here on KMED AM and FM this weekend. This show repeats at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and all of our shows are available at youtube.com/Real Estate Show Oregon. Don't you dare go away. We're coming right back after this. Real Estate Show continues here on KMED. Pete Belcastro here with you in mid-September, the end of fall. Talk to you next time, and guess what? It will be fall. End of summer. Wow. I waited for it, though. We made it through. That's the interesting part. When you think about that, when we were back in, April and May, and we were so worried, there was no water. What were we going to do? Are we going to be able to get through the year? And again, the water managers, really, as Randy White told us earlier today, did really a fabulous job of managing and moving water around. And as Nick just pointed out a minute ago, that the pools up at Fish Lake and 4 Mile Lake, I assume Howard Prairie maybe even too, and Hyatt Lake, they're down. That they're, what do you call them, empty pool?
They call it dead pool stage. Yeah,
and that's where they are, aren't they? Yep. There's nothing coming in and nothing going out, is there?
And that's why it's so important, that we have education and outreach. I think that's the big part, like Jen comes in with, is that, we can get information about how to manage that water. And we have events coming up that tell people, hey, we're low on water. Here's what you can do.
We are water-wise users. Is the best way to do that. We're with Clinton Nichols, who's the Rural Natural Resource Planner for the JSWCD, Ashley Parrott, who's the Marketing Coordinator, and Jennifer Sawtell, who's the Education Outreach Coordinator. All three of them are SOU grads, and all three are new to the district in the last 3 weeks or so. And so, man, you talk about being thrown into the fire, right into the middle of things. It's the three of you. Now, all right, well, one of the things the district does is that you really do have classes that are available to people. As we've said, 500 new people live in rural properties every year. You've got to educate them, and they need some of that. So what do you got coming up, Jennifer, that maybe you can share with us that people might want to do?
It's wonderful. We do have a lot of resources for people to plug into and classes people can attend. And right now we partner with a number of different organizations. At all times we're partnering with other people who are trying to get information out. And so we're in the middle of Bear Creek Watershed Exploration Days right now, which is that's a lot of different workshops and classes and events for people to come and attend, and for all ages to attend to learn some more about soil and water conservation and salmon. And as Clint was saying earlier, there's a class this Saturday about horses and mud. And Water Exploration Days has a number of events coming up. Excuse me for the paper rustling. Mm-hmm. And continuously, the land stewardship training he was talking about, which started September 11th, but it runs all the way till December 4th.
That's like every week. Tell me how that works. Is it every week on a Thursday? And what do you actually do in that class?
Well, it's wonderful. The land stewards training is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's an opportunity to come and learn how to better manage your land, the little things that you can do to conserve your soil and water, to plant beneficially, to encourage pollinators, many, many different topics.
And one of the things I know that they do, I think this is the right class, where you come up with a plan for your own property, don't you? Yep. Where I met a number of people who've actually done that. And it's not just agriculture land, right? I mean, this could be small timberlands.
Timberlands, home properties, and even
right in town.
Urban properties.
Yeah.
So that is at the OSU Extension on 569 Hanley Road, and it's Thursdays, 1 to 5:30 p.m. You have to register for it. There's a link online through OSU or through us.
Yeah, if you go to jswcd.org, we have the information there that you can register for the land stewards program as well.
Yeah,
and who's teaching that? Are you doing that?
No.
No, you're not. Okay. No, okay. All right.
No, actually, that class is interesting because we actually do a lot of site visits. We go out to former land steward class members and see what they're actually doing on their property. So they kind of teach part of the class, but we also bring in instructors like one of the members of the district, Lori Tella, she's going to be teaching one of the classes. But there's lots of other people that will be as well. Yeah.
I know that in small woodlands, and there's a lot of small woodland owners in our valley, and managing that forest, that land, that small woodland is really can be, well, what do you say? It's you don't want to not do it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the things that one of the classes that we teach is wildland fire risk assessments and things like that.
Look at the fire danger around.
Great
you.
opportunity to prepare yourself.
Yeah, and I've been when I was in the media. I remember firefighters. Well, we were in rural areas and say, if you in your property, if you not made your property fire safe, they're not going to stop and protect, make the stand at your property because you've done nothing to make it better.
Yeah, the first line of defense.
Yeah, and a lot of reasons for that. That's a safety thing. Firefighters can't get in there safely to put out that fire. So defensible space is very important for anybody who owns any kind of acreage that has timber on it.
Well, of the land steward program at the district, this program you're talking about, this is probably one of the most popular ones because you actually get something back in return from it. You get a plan for yourself, and that's really important for people.
That you can tailor specifically to your personal needs that help you in developing your own plan. And along with that same concept, just using best practices. September 24th, there's a fall planting for drought class. So, people as they're taking down their gardens and getting ready for fall, some great ways to sort of shift directions maybe and get some more drought-tolerant plants on their land. We do have some great agricultural offerings. We have a tour, it's called Mob Grazing. It's a mob grazing tour, and it's just a sort of an experimental opportunity to see how mob grazing works, and that's on September 27th. It's free. And then, of course, we're really excited about the Bear Creek Salmon Festival, and that's a big event. It's annual. It comes every, first Saturday in October. So this year it's Saturday, October 4th from 11 to 4 p.m. at the North Mountain Park in Ashland, and it's a great event for the whole family to come out, and there are workshops, there are booths, there's music all day long. There's a Native American salmon ceremony and an art installation. It's just a lot of fun.
And isn't it amazing? The salmon are actually, people see them in Bear Creek.
Yeah, it is amazing. We just
Ashland
had
Creek.
Someone stop us the other day to tell us all about seeing salmon. And
really? I have yet to see that. When I walk my dogs along Bear Creek all the time on the Greenway.
Yeah.
And we stop sometimes, and I've never seen any fish in there yet. But I know that obviously they're there, and
it's great.
And it's great to see it. And that creek may just become one of the jewels of our valley. Because it was so long ignored, as you know, and polluted. And look at it today. Isn't that amazing, isn't it?
Improvement can happen. And that's, it's beautiful to see that happening. And actually, we're just about to sort of begin a lot of monitoring to see how well our projects are working and show that we, not just the work that we do covers a certain amount of acreage and we've changed this many watering systems, but also what exactly that means for our streams in a quantifiable way. So,
well, we're going to be out of time, so we're going to have to go. JSWCD.org, right, Ashley? That's where people need to go.
And go to Facebook, look us up, Jackson Soil and Water. Go to our page, like us, and you can get tons of information that way. We're always posting useful information on our page.
Clint, Ashley, Jennifer, nice to meet you all today, and good luck to you all with the district. And hey, next time we're going to update you on just how you're doing, okay? And I'm sure you're going to have some good stories to share with us. That's it. Have a great week, everybody, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to the Original Real Estate Show with Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the Real Estate Guys. For advice, guidance, or counsel on any of our topics, or to watch a replay of today's show, visit our website at realestateshowOregon.com. This show is sponsored by RE/MAX, Ideal Brokers of Southern Oregon, Ticor Title, All Cities Property Management, and the Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District. We'll continue our weekly quest to enhance the value of your property and to make you a smart real estate consumer when we gather every Saturday and Sunday on KMED for the one and only Original Real Estate Show.